Hello everyone. Here we will discuss about forces and pressure in which types of forces. One of the most important force that we experience in day-to-day life is weight. Every object that you see around has a mass, and also has weight. Weight of an object is basically how much gravity is pulling that object towards the center. Now, in this case, we have Earth's gravity. In physics, weight of an object is given by variable W, near the surface of the Earth. Weight of an object can be measured by taking a product of mass and gravitational acceleration of Earth. The product means just multiplication. The weight of an object is a vector quantity, which means it has a magnitude as well as a direction. In this case, as gravitational force is always acting towards the center of the Earth, the direction of the weight is always towards the center of the Earth. When two objects are in contact with each other, that type of force is known as a contact force. There are two types of contact forces. One is a normal force, which is basically explained by the third law of Newton, that explains every action has an opposite equal reaction. And the second type of a contact force is a friction. Normal force is always directed perpendicular to the surface of the contact. Now, it does not matter if the surface has an inclination. The normal force will always be at perpendicular to the surface. Normal force usually always opposes the weight of an object when it is kept on a horizontal surface. In this figure you can see the book that is placed on a horizontal table. Now, book has some mass and that is placed on the table, which is under the gravitational influence of Earth. Then, due to mass and the gravitational influence, which is gravitational acceleration given by g, the book will exert force W on the table, which is m multiplied by g, and the reaction force will be provided by the table, which will be in exactly opposite direction to the weight of an object that is perpendicular to the surface. As you can see in the figure, F1 is a normal force that is applied by the table on the book. And F2 is the weight of a book that is force applied by the multiplication of the mass of the book and the gravitational acceleration of Earth. These two forces are equal and opposite, so they cancel out and the book remains stationary. Another type of contact force is a friction. Friction is a force that always opposes the motion between the two objects that are in contact. As we know, on molecular level or atomic level, no surface is completely or entirely smooth. So two objects that are in contact with each other, no matter how smooth the surface appears to us, they will always have some friction between them. The direction of the force. Frictional force will be in always opposite direction to the relative motion or a tendency of a motion and the applied force. Tension is another type of force that is exerted by a string when it is stretched completely by a heavy object. The direction of the tension force will always be towards where the string is attached at the pivot. In the diagram, you can see the arrow denotes the direction of the force that is acting on the object, which is the tension on the string. We know that the Earth has an atmosphere, and in atmosphere there are various types of gases. There are oxygen molecules, there are nitrogen, and then there is hydrogen, carbon dioxide. All these gases when combined from air. Now any object that moves on the surface of the Earth or inside the atmosphere experiences the air resistance. Air resistance is basically the force provided or given by the molecules of air, which is kind of a frictional force. And it is always in the opposite direction of the applied force or the motion of the body. The magnitude of the air resistance depends on the shape of an object and the speed at which an object is moving. Now, if the shape of an object is large, then the air resistance experienced by an object will be large. And if the shape of an object is small, then the air resistance that it experiences will be small. It also depends on the speed. If an object is moving with faster speed, then it will experience a larger air resistance. And if the object is moving with the slower speed, it will experience the lower air resistance. Just like the normal frictional force, the air resistance, which is also a frictional force, acts in the opposite direction to the motion of the object. On higher speeds, air resistance becomes a major problem. This is why the fast-moving vehicles such as a race car or Formula One cars are aerodynamically designed to reduce the air resistance. The structure of a car is engineered in such a way that air is able to flow around the surface of the car instead of opposing it. This is the reason they require less energy to move forward and can move at fast speeds.